everyone. We are going to do an experiment today about pH and buffers. And so if you were in the lab, these are all the materials that you would have available to you. We have vinegar, we have labeling tape, we have 3 types of antacids, Tums, Rolaids, and Alka-Seltzer. We have some pH strips that we'll use to measure the pH. And this is a mortar and pestle that we would use to, you'll see, we'll use it to mash up the tablets and act sort of like your teeth. So the first thing that the lab would ask you to do is to measure the pH of just the normal vinegar. So we've already poured 30 milliliters of vinegar into this beaker. I'm going to get out the pH strip. These change color based on the pH of different substances. All you got to do is stick it in, and then we can compare it to the container here to see what the pH is. So check that out and record what you think that pH is. Here is the measure of pH for normal vinegar using a pH meter. This is a very accurate measurement of hydrogen ion concentration. So record the value on the screen. Okay, so we have our first tablet here. It is Rolaids. I am going to mash it up using the mortar and pestle, very similar to what your teeth would do in your mouth. And it mashes up pretty easily. You can see the nice powder that I have there. And now I'm going to pour it into the 30 milliliters of vinegar. The vinegar, as you know, you've already recorded that initial pH, and this is simulating your stomach acid. I'm going to stir this in for about 10 seconds using the glass stirring rod, and then I'm going to let it sit for 60 seconds, and we will observe and record the pH. Okay, so we have waited our 30 seconds. We're going to record the pH of the Rolaids and the vinegar. It has been 60 seconds. Here is the pH measurement of the Rolaids dissolved in vinegar. So we are on to our second antacid. We're using some Tums, and I've already mashed it up. So it's in a powder form. Here's my 30 milliliters of vinegar. So I'm just going to pour it in. And again, we will stir it up. Mix it for about 10 seconds. And then we will check back after 60 seconds and measure the pH to see if there has been any change in the pH of the vinegar. So it has been 60 seconds. We are going to measure the pH of the Tums dissolved in the vinegar. And you can make that recording in your lab handout. We have waited our 60 seconds and now record the value for pH of the Tums dissolved in vinegar. Okay, our final antacid is Alka-Seltzer. So I've already mashed up the Alka-Seltzer. I'm going to pour it in. This one has a lot of fizzing going on. And we will wait again. Okay, so it has been 60 seconds. And we will use the pH strip. So it's been 60 seconds. We're going to record the pH now of the Alka-Seltzer dissolved in the vinegar. Thanks for watching. Please use the data that you've collected to answer the questions at the end of the handout.